Space Research Organization will be using US billionaire Elon Musk's company SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket to launch a 4.7-ton communication satellite, as India still does not have rockets to carry such heavy satellites to space. This announcement marks a departure from India's traditional arrangement of using a French company, Space's rockets to take its heavyweight satellites to space. Meanwhile, with us on the broadcast is Group Captain V.N. Jha, who is the former Joint Director of DRDO. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on NewsX. India's space sector, we've discussed this in depth. It is burgeoning at this point. There are a lot of collaborations that are taking place, whether it is with the space players of other countries, whether it's with private players, and now, of course, Elon Musk's SpaceX, which is in conversation these days. We are set to collaborate with his company. What do you make of this development, and do you think India's space sector's future is bright?
Very good morning, Pia, and to all your viewers. Yes, this sort of foreign collaborations, or rather say foreign support for launching of the satellites, are based on too many considerations, one of which is which exact spot you want to inject the satellite on. And depending on to that, the launch spot, whether it is India or French Guiana, you may be aware that many of the satellites have been launched from French Guiana. Even after ISRO has acquired the capability, some of those satellites have been sent from Russian territory. So these things happen. Now, SpaceX has got two distinct advantages. One, that its launch is reasonably cheap, and it is launching from a spot which is much east to Indian launch sites. So these are the considerations which determine which country should be approached for launching our satellites. There is one more consideration. Now the payload is about more than 4 tons. So in case if the satellite is to be launched with such heavy payloads, then you need heavier or stronger rockets, and Falcon 9 has got much heavier payload capacity. So that is why SpaceX has been approached with these three considerations. And there is nothing wrong with this. Earlier we used to, as I mentioned, we used to approach to French Guiana or Russian facilities, which used to be a little more costlier, much more costlier than what SpaceX will be charging us. So this is a requirement. Every time that we send a satellite up in the sky, we have to keep on replacing it. For example, Cartosat, we had sent in July 2010. Now it is almost now reaching its lifespan of 15 years. 10 to 15 years are the lifespan of these satellites. So it has to be replaced well due in time. So from that point of view, whichever satellite, whether it is a communication satellite or Earth observation satellite or another exploration satellite, whichever is to be replaced, that is determined which spot it is to be injected, and depending on that spot of injection, place of injection with the inclination east and north, ISRO decides which country is to be used. If it is within the capability of ISRO itself to inject the type of payload at the spot where it wants to inject, then ISRO will use it. Otherwise, ISRO contracts other agencies, mostly eastward. Any country which is east of us, like French Guiana, like Russians, like Americans, SpaceX. So they take this particular task, and of course we pay them, and then they launch the satellite. So nothing abnormal, nothing unusual about it. SpaceX is a reasonably cheaper satellite, and today we have got more MOUs with USA. So I welcome, the nation should welcome this sort of approach that SpaceX will be launching our satellites. it will be injected into the designated location where it has to replace the old existing satellites. And similar measures we are likely to see in the future also, because many satellites needs to be replaced in the coming months and years. So there our satellite will be launched either from Indian territory with our own vehicle, or with the foreign spots, their vehicles, their type of vehicle. It's usual, nothing abnormal about it, and we welcome. Yeah.
All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and, of course, presenting your perspective as far as the trajectory of India's space sector's growth is concerned.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.